My fork hovered over an empty plate, untouched except for a leaf of wilted lettuce someone tossed there out of pity. The waiter paused behind my parents, confused. "Are you sure there's no entree for her?" My mother waved him off. "She's fine. She eats enough." A few of our relatives chuckled. Crystal glasses chimed with malice. Across the long white tablecloth, my brother Derek raised his wine. "To honesty," he declared, eyes shining with the kind of confidence only shameless men possess. Everyone lifted their glasses. I didn't. Instead, I set down my napkin, stood slowly, and felt the air shift. A hush rolled across the table like fog. "Speaking of honesty," I said, pulling a thick envelope from my coat, "I have a toast of my own." Derek's grin flickered. My mother's eyebrow lifted. My father stiffened, sensing something sharp in my voice. I slid the photographs across the table and watched Derek's smug expression implode. His scream cracked the room in half. And yet, this wasn't even the beginning. My role in the family had always been decorative, a placeholder, a quiet shadow meant to make my brother shine brighter. At dinner parties, Derek got the head seat. At holidays, he got the expensive gifts. At home, he got praise for breathing. I got silence for existing. My mother called it balance. My father called it tradition. I learned to call it what it truly was, erasure. But perhaps the cruelest part wasn't the favoritism. It was the humiliation masked as concern. "Don't wear that. It doesn't suit your shape. You're too sensitive. No wonder you're single. Lower your standards." Each comment a small incision. Each laugh a twisting knife. I spent years pretending the wounds didn't bleed. It wasn't until Derek borrowed Dad's money without permission and pinned it on me that the bleeding finally became impossible to ignore. And that's when they made their mistake. They thought I would swallow it. Dad's retirement account dropped by thousands overnight. He stormed into my apartment accusing me of stealing. "Derek said you needed help," he growled. "You took it without asking." I stared at him, stunned. "I never touched your money." But Derek had already woven his story. My mother backed it instantly. "It's okay," she said. "She's just irresponsible. She'll pay it back." Pay it back? Pay back a debt I didn't take? I spent that night staring at my ceiling, the betrayal crawling beneath my skin like fire ants. Not because they believed Derek, because they never believed me. That night cracked something inside me. Not the part that loved them, but the part that tolerated them. Love can't survive in a place where truth goes to die. I didn't confront them. I didn't argue. I became quiet, deliberate, observant. Derek bragged often, too often for a man with secrets. He drank too much, talked too loud, forgot that I sat in the corner listening. That's how I learned about her, the woman with the red dress, the hotel receipts, the expensive gifts, the credit card he used, Dad's card, the same one he claimed I stole from. I followed him twice, once to a jewelry store, once to a hotel room he rented under her name. I collected everything: receipts, photos, dates, times. The truth didn't need embellishment, it only needed witnesses. The fancy restaurant was my parents' idea, a celebration dinner for Derek's business success. The irony was suffocating. I arrived first, ordered nothing. They insisted I didn't need a full meal anyway. "You gain weight so easily," my mother whispered, loud enough for the waitress to hear. Derek smirked. "Just eat a salad, kid. Be grateful we invited you." I let them gloat. I let them toast honesty. And when the moment was ripe, I stood. "Does Nancy," I asked, tilting my head toward Derek's fiancée 2 seats away, "know you've been using Dad's money to fund hotel rooms and gifts for your mistress?" Silence snapped tight. "What?" Nancy breathed. My mother scoffed. "Stop trying to ruin his night." So I slid the photos across the table. Derek with the woman in the red dress, Derek handing over Dad's credit card, Derek kissing her outside the hotel. Nancy covered her mouth. Dad's face drained to ash. My mother whispered something ugly under her breath. Derek lunged for the photos, but I tapped them with one finger. Sit. Down. He froze. For the first time in my life, he listened. Dad looked at me, broken. "Tell me this isn't real." I shook my head. "It's all real. And I already filed a report for the fraudulent charges you said I made." My mother stammered, You wouldn't do that." "I did," I said softly. "And the bank is very interested in how Derek accessed your accounts." Nancy stood abruptly. "We're done," she whispered to Derek. "We're absolutely done." The restaurant stared. Staff froze. Wine glasses trembled. Derek finally screamed, a raw, guttural sound that turned every head. But I didn't move. Revenge isn't loud. It's decisive. My parents left in stunned silence, led by a furious father who suddenly saw both his children clearly. Derek stayed seated, breathing like an animal cornered for the first time in his life. I walked past him, calm. He reached out as if to stop me. I stepped aside without a word. Once outside, the cold air hit my face like baptism. No noise, no insults, no expectations. Just freedom where their shadows used to be. For years I begged them to see me. Tonight I let them see themselves instead. And as the restaurant doors closed behind me, I realized something. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers and lets the guilty scream.